Biffy Clyro have just returned with their 10th studio album, and it's called Futique. I tried. I've not heard it said out loud. I think that's how I'm going to go. F-U-T-I-Q-U-E, Futique. It's like a futile critique, I guess. Which, to be fair, now that I've spaced that out and sounded that out in my head, kind of a cool name. But anyway, I have never listened to Biffy Clyro on purpose. I thought today would be as good a time as any to give myself an introduction to a band that I have been told so many times I would like. It's actually one of those things where, like, you know, sometimes you get a bit bloody-minded because you get enough people telling you, oh, you would love this, you would love this. And I'm like, you can't tell me what I'm going to love, even though often they are correct, and it's just me missing out on stuff for no reason. I thought, 10 albums, that's enough back catalogue that maybe now is the time to give Biffy Clyro the chance I probably should have given them a while ago. The only Biffy Clyro song I can, like, bring to my head is the one with the, like, obnoxiously long intro, the one where it's like, bum, 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 bum. That one, which, again, honestly, nowadays, I mean, that song probably came out a while ago now. I seem to remember hearing that, you know, when I was, like, 18 or maybe even younger. So maybe, actually, now, if I was to listen to that song, I'd probably quite like it. In fact, some of my friends who are Biffy Clyro fans have even said, look, if you just skip the first minute or so of that song, if you don't like that intro bit, it's still a good song. They do strike me as a band I will probably really like. I tend to like... music and culture coming out of Scotland. They've got lots of great musicians. Hosier is Irish. I don't know why I said that. Franz Ferdinand, Lewis Capaldi. The list goes on, I am sure. God, I was just looking at their Wikipedia page, and the list of genres they apparently cover is hilarious. Alternative rock, progressive rock, experimental rock, alternative metal, pop rock, post-hardcore, art rock, post-grunge, brackets, early. But these are pretty much entirely things I quite like. They've been going on for ages, like 1995. They've been around for a while, and I know nothing about them. So yeah, my friend who is a fan of them, Con, sent me a link to the music video that came up for this album called Goodbye, that has an official music video. So I thought, why not jump in, listen to Goodbye, and see whether or not I can get over this lack of awareness of Biffy Clyro, because there's a good chance I'm about to unlock a band I'm going to really like. So, yeah, screw it. Let's jump in and listen to Goodbye. Is this going to be like a really, really high budget music video as well? See, that's one thing I'm going to point out immediately. It's definitely not consistent across anything, but I've noticed quite a lot of artists from the British Isles, when they sing, you can't really hear the accent. It's quite interesting. I genuinely think that about Hosier, and I have been a fan of Franz Ferdinand since I was quite a young child, and I didn't know that Franz Ferdinand was Scottish until I was like 17. I quite like it when artists do really lean into their own like accents like that. It's nice. He's got a nice voice, and I just think that also actually when sung, I don't know, delicately as Scottish is actually really quite a nice, artful accent.
Over, so let's not pretend we can start over, have things to defend.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave here. I'll explain.
Immediately, I can tell the production is super good. Like, these guys sound like they've been at this a while. The introduction to that string line is lovely. And sometimes I feel like when you hear a string line coming in on a rock song especially, my first question is that real? Is that a synth or not? But that sounds like a real-ass violin. It's really nicely layered in there with this very gentle vocals coming in with quite a soft guitar lead line to start with. It's quite indie at the moment, I would say. I guess you can classify that as a subgenre of alt-rock. But yeah, no, okay, I'm liking the production level. It sounds delicate and well put together.
And I know how I betrayed you and covered it up. I'll fall on my knees, I'll fall on my sword. No one.
And I quite like how he's getting more passionate as his delivery goes on. And also, not quite sure what the context of it is, but I like the visual style of the, or him being kind of like floating out in space. It's really nicely executed.
Did before. Goodbye, my love. It was
He does have a great voice. Okay, this is definitely true. I like the way he's able to build up, and it's very pure at that high note, but still quite passionate.
my lover. Why did we even bother?
Oh, so sad.
Station, a stranger in a coat.
Okay, and now I like that in the right pan, the slightly gainier guitar line is like, I don't know whether he's playing it louder or it's been mixed in more, but it's a bit more present on the second one. It kind of like almost mirrors the angst. You know, he's sort of like going on about how goodbye is lover, and then lyrically towards the end of the chorus, he's then going, why do we even try it? It feels more angsty than sad at that point, and I quite like that the guitar feels like it's mirroring that.
You're my salvation, written in the cold.
Oh, that's a weird effect. Let me have a look at that. The, wait. Oh, every time. The reflection on the front of the helmet is... that's really nice. That's a really nice visual detail there. That this, I guess, this woman that he is talking about is being reflected there. It's almost like she's looking in from a window from the outside or something like that. You know, the spacesuit is him kind of like sealing himself in again after being kind of like hurt, and there she is looking in through the window. That's a really nice, very subtle visual design choice there.
I tried my best to build us
It's a very minimal drum line as well. Ooh, there's the strings.
repeating, but then again, no one knows anything. I know that for sure.
I like how he's able to shake up the kind of like vocal sort of like delivery. The rhythm is different towards the end. It's quite conversational. Like you can see that the lyrics have absolutely been prioritized, and he's found a way to, or they have found a way, who's doing the sort of majority of the songwriting here, but they found a way to get the message across in the sort of like the meter that he has. But I like it when you can tell a band prioritizes the words more than having like a consistent beat every time. It's nice. It makes it feel more personal.
Never enough.
It's a nice visual.
Why did we even bother? Goodbye forever.
That was an interesting chord change there. Did they like flip to the relative minor for like one rep there? This is the kind of like sort of slightly more proggy stuff I was expecting from Biffy Clyro, to be honest. This is so far, whilst well executed, definitely falls into like kind of expectations of a sort of indie rock to me. But that little weird flip into the relative minor or whatever, I can't quite pick up what it was, but that was nice, especially on the repeat chorus. It gives it a reason to go round again.
But it hurts.
Ooh, a bit of vocal fry there as well, lovely. There's the face again. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Ooh. I just got some shivers there. The way that came in was absolutely amazing. I love how they kept the drums so minimal in the run-up to that. It was like basically just a float over the toms pretty much for the first 2.5 minutes of this song. And the guitars again, like you could just feel the gain like being, it's like an engine revving up there. And at the exact same moment, you also get an explosion of color and fire in the video. It really, that was a fantastic way to put everything together. And again, the production was so crisp and clean. Every aspect of it all falls in its perfect frequencies. You can tell these guys are just utter professionals. Also, not a drum rhythm I would have expected, the dung, 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 dung. It's almost like this kind of, not a march exactly, it's almost like a dance, I guess, like mixed in with this really revving, like I love the tone of this guitar. Okay. Again, interesting choice in chord progression too. Like I think the first one when he goes down, I think he literally just goes down like a semitone or something like that, and then it kind of resolves itself in a slightly more natural cadence. But there's this little off moments here and there that are very clever. Oh no. Again, just the way that vocalization was in there, it was so impassioned, just the right crisp amount of vocal fry to go in there to really push the like anguish. It really feels like he's singing from the heart. I'd love to know if there's some like real life context for this. I'm sure a lot of people, it might not be like he's currently having a heartbreak, but he can relate to, past experiences and that kind of thing. But it really feels deep. And I love the sort of like imagery of flying into the sun happening over this point. And now I'm feeling we're about to launch into a final repeat of that chorus, but was with all the things firing at once now. Guitars are letting go, vocal fryers everywhere. It's great. Yeah, here we go. Full drum kit too, nice. nice. And we got the strings back for that outro again, and he just is able to soften up. It's like, a breath of fresh air. I have screamed. It's like cathartic, right? This moment of like riding out afterwards. Or is that like acceptance, you know? In loving memory. Oh, shit. Okay, maybe that was actually... I feel like I need to Google some context on that now. That was great. I really liked it. I will admit, it started a little slow for me. It was like objectively well put together. I liked how kind of like... not suppressed isn't the right word, but like restrained it all felt to start with. His voice was great, and again, just having this visual of him just kind of floating in space really, really worked nicely for that. And then the way that they were able to build up on those ideas, how everything like slowly became more kind of like angsty and gritty, and his vocal performance got scarier, and not scarier, maybe not the right word, but you know what I mean. His vocal performance got more passionate as everything else ramped itself up. I am going to look up whether or not there's some context behind the In Loving Memory. I actually can't... He seems to be happily married. He's got you know, a tattoo across his chest for, you know, directly referencing his current wife, as far as I can tell. So I'm really curious. People in the comments, let me know what the context behind that was, because that now sounds more like... well, sort of towards the end of that video, there was kind of like lots of flashing of like childhood pictures. So I'm wondering whether or not he was maybe singing about the loss of like a parent or something. But then I'm not gonna lie, that makes the lyrics "Goodbye, my lover" seem bizarre. So somebody, unless he's just, you know, inventing a context, which is also completely fine. Like, you know, you don't have not everything you sing about has to be literal. So I'd be really curious to know what the context behind that is. But I really like that a lot. The way that it was put together, his voice was fantastic. The production was excellent. The songwriting, you can tell it's clever. Like, it's not... That one in particular wasn't like hugely progressive or groundbreaking. It didn't have loads and loads of kind of like massively alternative traits in it, but that is fine because it's just one of those things. After a while, I mean, again, this is a band that's been playing for 30 years, right? And you can just hear it as this intrinsic skill, this passion, this ability to just every decision that is made carefully, and sometimes it's probably just instinctual, to be honest, but it still comes together to create this like veteran sound. And that's what they've got there. So yes, absolutely, this is definitely going to be the beginning of something beautiful, I think. Anyone else in the comments, after all the other things I begged you to inform me about, could you give me some recommendations for the previous 10 or 9 albums worth of back catalogue? In fact, I might even go through and listen to the entirety of this new one too. But fans of Biffy Clyro, let me know some highlights, some good music videos, some stuff that you would recommend as somebody who is potentially getting into this as a band for the first time. Let me know in the comments. That would be fantastic. Other than that, thank you very much for watching and going through this journey with me. Hopefully I didn't piss off any real Biffy Clyro fans. Like, share, subscribe, all of that crazy stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.